That was Pale Shelter by Tears for Fears, one of my favorite songs ever. You know what we don't do anymore that we used to do as a society is fade outs. All these songs that I've played, they fade out. The reason I think they used to do that is because DJs and clubs used to spin records on vinyl, and so they needed the songs to fade so that they could mix them into each other seamlessly. So if you wanted your song to be like a big hit that was getting played out, because like that's how music obviously like got popular, was like in the world, like in the streets, you know? You'd go to like a club and like going out and enjoying music was like where you would hear a song for the very first time. And you'd be like, what is that one song that DJ is always playing in the club? And then you have to go to a record store and dig through crates trying to find it. And like, you know, obviously there wasn't the luxury of like being able to Google a lyric or like find some stuff on Spotify or on Amazon Music or on, you know, whatever your playlisting like app of choices. There's something really cool about that to me, about having to like discover music in that way. Like if you really love this song, it is going to take you so long to go and find it and make it yours. I just think that's so interesting. So I was like, you're dating yourself. I wasn't alive and doing that during that time. This is falsified nostalgia. I am reminiscing in a period that I didn't exist for. I was just thinking that it's so funny that we just said that, because I was thinking while I was playing these songs, I was like, I feel like part of the reason that I have like old person energy is because I also listen to like a ton of really old music. Like, and so like even with these shows, like I'm playing stuff from like the 70s and the 80s most of the time, and I'm like, I'm dating myself. Like, um, but really like I had to discover all of this music on my own because my parents were really young and they were also like really modern. So like they didn't listen to like a lot of the greats, like the iconic musicians. Like my friends, like when I was growing up, their parents were listening to like Fleetwood Mac, the Beatles, like the Rolling Stones, Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, even later stuff than that, like getting educated on like Cher and like Tears for Fears. And like, you know, my parents were so young that like when I was growing up, they were listening to like Blink 182 and like Eminem. You know, my parents are still in their 40s, which is crazy because like I have a child. Um, you know, so they were really young when I was growing up, and like a lot of my friends had older parents, and yeah, they were just putting me on to like I remember my mom and I bonding like big time over the debut Avril Lavigne album. Like that was the mom I had growing up, because she was like, yo, you gotta hear this, it's fire. And it's like Skater Boy, like, you know what I mean? Like that was my experience. So what ended up happening was that like as I got a little bit older, I had to go back and do a lot of that music discovery on my own. So I think I had like a real appreciation for it, because it wasn't like, oh, this is the music my parents were playing around the house. It was like I found it on my own and like really fell in love to it, and like became really attached to it in that way. So yes, I guess I was just dating myself, but like I was dating myself as like as an 80s sympathizer, not as an old person. Um, but oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm just reading the chat, so I'm getting so distracted, and you guys are so funny. Yeah, Shania Twain. My mom definitely listened to like Shania Twain for sure. Um, and Alanis, obviously. My mom listened to The Cure. That was actually one of these bands that she put me on to. But no, like The Doors, I had to discover on my own. My mom was a huge Pink fan, put me on to Pink for sure. My mom was so much like Pink growing up. They were like really similar, which is why I think I'm so attached to her, because when I see her, Pink and Alanis Morissette are like the two versions of my mom. That's like long-haired my mom and short-haired my mom. They both like remind me of her so much that when I see either of them, I'm like, my brain doesn't understand that they're not my mother, and that they're like massive, incredible female rock icons, pop rock icons. Dido. Dido was a big one. Dido and Jewel. If your parents listened to Dido and Jewel, then they've probably told you that if they've heard you playing my music around them before, because a lot of people will compare my voice to Dido's voice or to Jewel's voice, because it kind of has that like whistly, yodely component to it as well. Um, but yeah, Pat Benatar definitely. And my mom came and got to see me play with Alanis when I did the show at Hollywood Bowl a couple months ago, which was super sick. I keep thinking about what kind of music Ender's gonna listen to when he's older, right? Because like I think I've told you guys this before, and this hasn't changed. He's a loyal fan, but Ender's favorite musician is Harry Styles. He loves Harry Styles. He loves Harry's house. Like when I'm making him dinner and he's like in his high chair, like all I put on is like music for a sushi restaurant or As It Was, or he loves Daylight. He loves cinema. Yeah, he loves so many of those records. Which is kind of sick for me because it means he's not going to mess up my end of year songs with like Baby Shark. It's going to mostly be Harry, which it probably would have been anyway if it were just if it was just me. So yeah, he's a cool kid. He's got taste. You know what I mean? Like he might be a future lumberjack, but he loves Harry Styles. So at least we're going to agree on that. It's great. Um, Also, I was probably listening. I think I was listening to a lot of Harry when I was pregnant, so I think he like remembers that because "Adore You" was like huge on the radio at the time, and I was always listening to that when I was pregnant. So he like remembers it in his womb days, I guess. Um, I do want to talk to you guys more about some stuff, but I don't have a ton of time left, so I want to get like one or two more songs in. And this has been like a really male heavy playlist, so I gotta show some love to the ladies really quick. This song is so beautiful. I think that most of you know a lot of these songs, but I'm seeing some of you don't, which is really exciting for me if I'm getting to put you on to music that I love that hopefully becomes music that you love as well. And I hope that this becomes a favorite record for some of you because it's a really poignant one for me. This is Jewel by Cranes.